How's it going, everyone? Electro Pikachu here. We all have our favorite Pokemon. Even if someone says they don't really have a favorite Pokemon, they usually do and just don't know what one it is. A few years back, I did a video talking about my top 10 favorite Pokemon. However, that was whenever Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was coming out. Now Sword and Shield is out, and we got the whole decks. While I haven't played the game myself yet, I have changed my perspective on some Pokemon. In fact, I did a favorite Pokemon picker on a website called Dragonfly Cave, which will be linked in the description if you want to use that. And my top 10 has changed quite a bit. In fact, there are some Pokemon on it that were on. There are some Pokemon on it that moved places. Some that were on it in the last video I made about this are gone, and it's changed quite a bit. So, yeah, I thought it would be a good time to talk about what my new top 10 favorite Pokemon is. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're immediately moving on to my favorite grass type, and my favorite of the Alola starters. Now, at the time I created my video back whenever Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had come out, I hadn't used Rowlet. I said it was on my favorites list, and it was at number 8, which now it's dropped. I'd never used it. But now that I have, I still love it a lot. In fact, my playthrough of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, my Decidueye known as Oliver killed every legendary in one shot. Like, people had problems with fighting Ultra Necrozma, not me. I took it down in one shot with... It was either Spirit Shackle or the Z move, which some people haven't even been able to one-shot Ultra Necrozma with the Z move. Mine wasn't even a critical hit, though. It just did enough damage, and it wasn't over-leveled. It's pretty high-leveled now at level 82, but so is my Dusk Lycanroc in that game. So, yeah, I don't know I don't know what Oliver is doing. I don't know how my Decidueye is this strong. But, yeah, it destroys every legendary I try to catch or I'm facing off against, except once. Giovanni's Mewtwo is the only legendary that not only survived the first hit, it took it down. And then my Alolan Raichu came out and I took that thing down. But yeah, my Decidueye was extremely strong. And that just grew my love for the Pokemon even more. Now, while it has dropped a few places, I still really love Decidueye. It's not only my favorite grass type and my favorite Alola starter, it's my favorite Alola Pokemon overall, and is a solid ghost type. It'll always be on my team if I'm able to use it. Latios is my favorite legendary Pokemon. It's There's just been something about it that I've always liked. It even grew from where it was, which is now Decidueye's spot, number 10. It's only grown one spot, but still, I've always liked Latios ever since I learned about it. Which, whenever I learned about it, was in my first ever Pokemon playthrough, Pokemon Black 2. I went to the Dream Yard just exploring anything, and as soon as I went in, Latios flew in. And so I had no idea what it was. I went up to it, started the battle, and knocked it out. Kept trying, kept knocking it out, because my Samurott was level 100, so, I mean... and it also had Ice Beam, so... yeah, that was the smartest thing for me to do, but hey, I did end up getting Latios. But it took me quite a while. I kept knocking it out, and I hadn't saved right before the battle. I saved right before going into the Dream Yard. And no matter what, I just kept taking it down until I finally ended up catching it. But the fact that it was difficult for me to catch only made me want to catch it more. Normally, that's not something people feel. Whenever that it's something that is difficult to catch, people usually get annoyed, but I actually got more interested. And whenever I finally caught it, I felt extremely relieved. And while I didn't really use it too much, I still have loved Latios. I've wished I could use it in a playthrough. And the fact that it has Aura Sphere now whenever it's going to be put in for the expansion pass, that is awesome. Aura Sphere is one of my favorite moves. Latios is my favorite legendary. And it's on my dream team. It's my legendary. It's my Mega Evolution. I just love Latios. Cubchoo? Really, Electro? Let me explain. Cubchoo is a Pokemon I've liked for quite a while, and it's mainly because whenever I was little, I had this plush bear, which I still have now. It's just kind of messed up. I need it to be sewed together. But yeah, that was my favorite toy I ever had, and Cubchoo kind of reminds me of it. It's just a nice reminder, and while sure, the snot running down from the nose makes it look kind of weird, and probably makes it look like the kid from Wind Waker, that is a demon, by the way. Cubchoo has just been a Pokemon I've always liked. I've wished I've actually been able to use it for longer on a team, and I it just reminds me of back when I was little. Okay, let's be honest, who doesn't like Galarian Darmanitan at this point in time? Galarian Darmanitan is extremely good and competitive, but most people like Guerrilla Tactics as its ability. I don't. I mean, okay, I do like Guerrilla Tactics, but I prefer Zen Mode. Back whenever Darmanitan first came out in Gen 5, which is my favorite generation, Zen Mode wasn't that good. It became more defensive. It got the Psychic typing, which Psychic has always been a good typing, but no one really liked Zen Mode. It wasn't helpful and competitive. It was a cool idea, but wasn't really done well. It went from a very good physical attacker to more of a defensive special attacker, and it doesn't get too many special moves. If it was still a physical attacker, probably would have been better, but it wasn't. However, Galarian Darmanitan came out, which one of my favorite Galarian forms, other than Runerigus and Obstagoon. Zen Mode got good. Not only is it the first Ice-Fire type, which should not be able to exist, and also, let's be honest, it looks kind of ridiculous, Zen Mode Galarian Darmanitan, but, it got really good. While Guerrilla Tactics is helpful as basically a choice band, Zen Mode increases its stats and makes it even stronger. Sure, Guerrilla Tactics does help with that, but that's only physical attack. I believe Zen Mode Galarian Darmanitan gets a boost in both physical and special, and while its special attack isn't the best, it still gets a good boost, and it's still strong. Zen Mode is actually really helpful on Galarian Darmanitan, and just that combined with the fact that it's a typing that is honestly really cool just makes me love it. Yeah. Lucario has been popping up on this channel quite a bit now. Mainly because of Smash Bros, where I have started a like, inside joke over having Goku Cario. But I've always liked Lucario. It's not just because of Smash. Granted, Smash made it more likable to me. It's been more prominent, so it's grown in my favorites. But I've always liked it, and it also had to do with my first playthrough in Black 2. Back in Black 2, whenever I forgot it on the first day, I caught a Riolu and accidentally released it. I immediately felt bad about that, went out to catch another one, and kept it on my team. It didn't stay on my team forever, but I'd always liked Lucario, and just kind of the fact that I released it is kind of a funny story. I just released it actually before that I took on the first gym. That might have been why it was kind of difficult. I was just trying to put it in my PC for a little while, and then it got released, and so I went all the way back to where I caught it, spent like at least half an hour trying to find a new Riolu. And yeah, I also used Riolu in Pokemon X. I've used Riolu, well, really Lucario. I use it in competitive sometimes. And yeah, it's one of my secondaries in Smash Bros. So yeah, I've got quite a few reasons to like Lucario. Not to mention it's the second most popular Pokemon in the world. And just really cool overall. The only people who dislike it are ones who their only reasoning is just that it's kind of overrated now. But Lucario is always cool. Again, Aura Sphere is one of my favorite moves. I just have a lot of reasons to like Lucario. Alright, we got another fighting type right after Lucario, and it's also from Sinnoh. Gallade. Gallade I have always liked. It's another Pokemon I haven't been able to use in an actual playthrough. I tried once, but that was in Alpha Sapphire, and you get the Dawnstone way too late in the game. But my introduction to Gallade's existence was the trailer for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire telling all of the Mega Evolutions we'd be getting. And Gallade just looked really cool. And its normal form, really cool. Mega form, really cool. It's one of my favorite shinies as well. In fact, I tried to shiny hunt it before my birthday, but I couldn't, because that was difficult. I ended up giving up. I haven't had a successful shiny hunt at all, actually, but Gallade, just really cool. I used it in competitive for a little while as well. Of course, I always do competitive on Pokemon Showdown, because I can't really do it well in the games. But Gallade has just been really helpful, like Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, Night Slash, Close Combat, Swords Dance. That's a pretty good selection of moves, and it's got even more to choose from that are equally as good. And while I do know quite a few people who prefer Gardevoir because of the internet, I prefer Gallade. Gallade has always just been cooler to me. Maybe it's because of the fact that it gets swords on its arms. But yeah, Gallade is just really cool. It's kind of like a Valiant Knight, which is always something that is a good characteristic, I guess. And yeah, Gallade is just really cool. That's, I guess, the main reason. Boy, Electro, do you like your fighting types? Stuffle. Stuffle, what to say about Stuffle? Stuffle is adorable. Its cry is just the sweetest thing. I actually got into a conversation with my girlfriend about why Stuffle's cry is adorable. She's not even a Pokemon fan. She just lets me ramble about Stuffle, but Stuffle, I have just loved since I learned about it. I caught one in Ultra Sun and evolved into Beware, and I actually regretted it. I like Beware, but I liked Stuffle more. Granted, I also regretted the fact that I nicknamed it Fuzz, which wasn't the best nickname. I feel like I could have made up something better. But Stuffle, I just like a lot more than Beware. It's adorable. The cry is adorable. I mean, sure, it's not too strong, but it doesn't have to be. No Pokemon has to be too strong to be useful. In fact, that's always something I've thought. You don't have to have the strongest Pokemon. It's just, you can have any type of Pokemon. It can be cute. Stuffle being basically a living stuffed animal is just an interesting idea to me, I guess. And yeah, I don't know why I'm gravitating towards the fighting type around this time. It's just a thing now, I guess. And I knew I liked Stuffle. I did not think that it would be all the way up at 4th. But Stuffle might be here to stay. Phanpy. I love elephants. Phanpy is adorable. It's a very underrated Pokemon. I actually have been playing through Crystal recently, and I woke up early to try and catch a Phanpy because I watched a video of Chugga Conroy playing Crystal, and he found a Phanpy. And so I knew it was rare. I tried to wake up early, failed, messed with my clock, which I was also playing why did I think of Overwatch? Yokai Watch. So, yeah, I kind of got in trouble in that game for messing with my clock. But whenever I started up my Crystal playthrough, messed with the clock after failing to get up early enough to find a Phanpy. Then spent the time trying to hunt it, and I don't like that it can run away in Crystal, but I was determined to catch one, and I did. And it's still on my team, nicknamed Pumpkin. I don't know why I like giving Phanpy the nickname Pumpkin, but I've always liked Phanpy. It used to be my favorite Pokemon. In fact, I think I said this in the first top 10 Pokemon video. But yeah, Phanpy's just a Pokemon I've always liked. Again, I love elephants. It's my favorite color, which is blue. It's just really cute. I like it in the anime. And yeah. Oshawott also stayed in his spot. In fact, I think Phanpy and Oshawott aren't going to move from those spots anytime soon. Probably never. But Oshawott was my first Pokemon I ever had. In fact, it's really close to being my favorite Pokemon, but I think we all know who my favorite Pokemon is, and it hasn't moved from its spot either. But Oshawott was my first Pokemon. Kind of funny that back in Black 2, I didn't know the gender sign, so I always thought my Oshawott was male, and instead it was female. It's the first Pokemon and only Pokemon I've leveled up on my own all the way to level 100. It's hilarious in the anime. I honestly think that Black and White is a very underrated Pokemon anime. But I also really love water types. Electric and water are my favorite typing, so of course a water type is high up on the list. Razor Shell is cool. I'm a sucker for swords and knights and stuff like that. And while I prefer ninjas, shoguns and samurais are pretty cool too, so I gravitated towards Oshawott's entire line almost instantly. And yeah, honestly, Oshawott is also an underrated Pokemon. Like, yeah, it's probably the most popular of the Unova starters, but all of Unova is still pretty underrated, even though people are now starting to see that the characters are the best, the story is the best, but a lot of people are neglecting some of the Pokemon, and Pokemon like Oshawott are really underrated, and I just love them. Yeah. Pikachu being my favorite Pokemon, I'm a normie, okay? Yeah, people kind of make fun of me for that, but this little guy and me are staying together, and I'm just gonna throw it back over there, but Pikachu's just a Pokemon I like. It's cute, it's powerful, I main him in Smash, and while, yeah, I know he's not powerful in the games, he's powerful in the show, and I wish he was more powerful in the games, but yeah, I know people are gonna say that I'm a normie because I like the mascot, but Pikachu's cool to me. Electric is a really cool typing, and while there are a lot of cool electric types, I guess it is kind of weird that I gravitated towards Pikachu the most. Maybe it's just because I saw it the most, and I always saw it really cool, and actually, whenever I was little, I always thought I could use Fusion Bolt, which is Zekrom's signature move. And in Smash, it uses a Final Smash that looks exactly like Fusion Bolt, but apparently it's Volt Tackle. I don't really like the animation for Volt Tackle in Smash because it looks exactly like Fusion Bolt. I mean, Volt Tackle is a literal tackle. It's just zooming across the room. But Volt Tackle's a really cool attack. Pikachu's signature Z move, Catastropika, is an amazing move. Like, I just love that, like, you grab the Pikachu, throw it up into the air, and then it just turns into Sonic the Hedgehog and just BAM! And yeah, that might be why I run the Z move and not the Light Ball. And yeah, there's just always been something about Pikachu ever since I learned of its existence that made me love it. And yeah, it's probably going to be my favorite Pokemon for a long time. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Let me know in the comments what your top 10 favorite Pokemon are, and if you don't really have a clue, use Dragonfly Cave, which will be in the description, as I said earlier. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and maybe you'll also get to find out who my top 10 least favorite Pokemon are at some point. See you guys in the next video. Bye.